Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Here's a straight up honest truth. Most people aren't really living their lives. They're renting themselves out to whatever role, job, relationship, or habit gives them just enough comfort to make them forget that they're slowly dying inside. You think you're free because nobody's giving you orders, but if you haven't chosen your direction, you're not free, you're just drifting. And drift has one predictable destination: regret. People that have taken charge of their lives live with intention. And living with intention doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean having a 5-year plan or having a bullet journal full of affirmations. What it means is you are actually choosing your life, not reacting to fear, fatigue, pressure, or programming. And let me break this down because this is bigger than it sounds. Drift has 4 distinct lenses, and it's important to be able to recognize them. The first is being on autopilot rather than cultivating awareness. Most people aren't lazy. They're asleep. They're running scripts. Scripts about success, scripts about being nice, scripts about staying small so nobody else gets uncomfortable. If you never stop to ask why you're doing what you're doing, you're not making choices, you're performing compliance. The second lens of drift is just being stuck in awareness, because waking up is not enough. A lot of people think that once they wake up to the system and become aware of what's happening, they're free. I got news for you. You're not free at that point. That's just the beginning. You can wake up and spend the next 20 years drifting. You didn't break out, you just changed prisons. Now, instead of living the life that was handed to you unconsciously, you're avoiding life consciously. You're drifting because you're afraid to commit to something real. Waking up isn't the solution, choosing is. The third is being stuck in compulsion rather than living with intention. And no, this isn't just about external systems. If you're not living with intention, you're being driven by something. Maybe it's addiction. Maybe it's anxiety, and maybe it's that voice in your head that sounds suspiciously like your father or your high school teacher or your ex. If you're not choosing, something else is driving, and it probably doesn't have your best interests in mind. And the fourth lens of drift is the hustle or productivity trap. Living with intention doesn't mean you become a productivity robot and ruthlessly schedule out your day. That's just another kind of drift, but with fancier software. Because let's be honest, if you're blindly following somebody else's course or book or 10-step program without questioning, then who's really making the decisions in your life? It's not you. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Even if it's messy, even if it's slow, even if it doesn't look impressive on Instagram. But let's not lie about this. Living with intention is hard. You know why most people avoid it? Because if you really stopped to ask yourself how much of your life aligns with your values, you might have to admit that most of it is built on fear and compromise and habit. I'm not going to lie, that's painful, but it is powerful. Because the moment you admit it, you can change it. But as long as you pretend it's fine, nothing changes. So here's where we are. You've got 2 options. Option 1 is a radical reset. Sometimes the only real move is to burn it down. Leave the job, end the relationship, move across the country, sell all your stuff and start fresh. You don't need to do it all overnight. But if you know that something is killing your soul, you need to name it, and then you need to build your escape plan. Because if it's that bad, that voice in your head saying, maybe I can make this work, that's not your gut. That's your fear trying to wear a sensible mask. Now, option 2 is slightly less dramatic, but just as crucial. If you're not ready to nuke everything from orbit and start that dive shop in Tahiti you've always wanted, that's fine. But you're not off the hook. Here's what you do instead, and you do it today, as soon as you finish watching this video. Pick one area of your life: work, time, health, relationships. Ask yourself, am I choosing this, or am I just going along with this because it's familiar? Make a brutally honest list. What am I doing that doesn't align with my values? What am I avoiding that I know matters? Don't filter it, don't spin it, don't put qualifiers on it, don't leave things off because they just don't matter. Just frickin' write the list. Then choose one thing to change, now. One commitment to drop, one action to take, one conversation to have that you've been avoiding. This is your proof that you're awake, that you're not just another sleeper scrolling through Facebook pretending that they're going to change their life. And then you do this, you start auditing yourself. Once a week, set aside a half hour or an hour, and you ask yourself, where did I choose with intention this week? And where did I drift? That's it. But it's important to remember that if you don't inspect your life, if you don't keep tabs on yourself, the default wins every single time. So look, here's the thing. Living with intention doesn't mean that you're never going to be afraid. It just means stop letting fear drive the car. It doesn't mean that you're always going to be clear and focused, not by a long shot, but it does mean that you stop pretending that you don't know what's out of alignment. And it sure as hell doesn't mean that you're going to become somebody else. It means that you're finally going to become yourself, on purpose, not by accident. So get started. Today, pick one thing you'll stop tolerating, one thing that you'll start doing. Prove to yourself that you're not asleep. Prove to yourself that you give a damn. Because if you don't choose your life, someone else will. And they don't give a damn about how it ends for you. And if any of this resonated with you, go ahead and comment. I would love to hear what you have to say about this. If you actually liked the video, like it. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you later, kids.